My works. Hello, can you hear me clearly? Let me just keep this private. So, is it better? Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, just doing an audio check before I start recording. I need to remember to do the recording this time. Uh, okay, this background. Okay. Yeah, can you hear me clearly? Yeah, just use the thumbs up or something if you can hear me clearly. Yeah, there's a react button. Oh, my connection tools over here. Okay, so I guess we can start soon. Do you know of anyone else who has not joined? Because I've had 20 responses. Yeah, and out of the 20, I think only about two are not able to make it today. So not sure whether are your friends coming. Yeah, so if you see anyone in the Making and Thinking lab or working somewhere on their project, could you please ask them to join? Okay, so I will start recording now. Yeah, so recording is gonna start in 3, 2, 1. Start to record. Record out. What is Zoom doing? For some reason the recording is not starting. What is Zoom again? What to use OBS for this? Why is it not recording? Hold on. Let me figure out why is it not recording because I'm clicking on the record sign. Record to the cloud. It's not recording. What is wrong with Zoom? Just let me check. It should be able to compute from there. So this is a Zoom bug. We just updated before I started this. Oh, not cheap. I'm gonna use OBS. Um, source. Speak. Settings for PS. Yeah. 60 frames per second. Pet facial. Wow. Suspecting. Suspecting is going to die on me. What? Okay. What's the problem? Does it hear my mic? Ah, so does it want to record? Okay. Yes, does. Okay, it's recording now. Okay, I was scared with the Zoom update. Can I just confirm that you all also see that it's recording? Because the last time I tried the first briefing, I forgot to set it to record and yeah. Okay, thank you for confirming. And I'm gonna for the announcement saying that it's being recorded, right? Okay, okay. Oh, it was a scare from Zoom. Yeah, expecting it to behave so likely after updating. Okay, right. Okay, so I guess I do not need OBS now. Just creating my resources. Push. Okay, sit. Okay, so I guess we can start now. Sorry for the delay. Uh, yeah, if you know your teammates or any classmates who are not here yet, or you are in the Meeting and Tinkering Lab and you see that there are other groups there, just give them a shout out and say that, remember you have a claims briefing, ICS claims briefing, so if they're finance members, they can also join the briefing now. Yeah, okay, so in this case, hopefully they join within a few minutes. Yeah. Have you all made purchases? You can unmute too, also. Yeah, no worries. You all made purchases, right? Okay, so do you manage to arrange your purchases with the following naming format in the announcement? For example, what's the recent announcement I made yesterday, 2 days ago? It was on Sunday. Yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah, you can, if you have not named your file names, you can actually naming them. Like around this format, some item number, you can just make 001, 002, 003. Yeah, we'll just match accordingly. What is the vendor name? And then invoice, receipt, sales slip, yeah, and then the sales slip number. Okay, so if you have not done that, while you're waiting for your friends to come or you already have it prepared, you can see whether your naming scheme is something similar to this. Yeah. Because it's easy for us to check. We just follow the number, then we just check the invoice number. And then after that, we just look whether it's this the vendor's name. Okay, so hopefully they are coming soon. The new NTU Learn format is very weird. It does a lot of this arranging while we are looking at it. Okay, so just to point out that the process summary is here. So if you have read through it, probably what we're going to do in this briefing is very similar to that. Okay, and yeah, all the details are here. This recording is going to be replaced by today's because yeah, this wasn't very accurate at the time when I was giving that first briefing, but the general idea was there. So if you watched it, the general idea was there. Okay. So I'll insert whatever presentation slides I have in this briefing. After our session, I'll just put it in this section here. So, but most of the details are here. Don't worry, you can also email me if you have any issues. Okay, so if you need to clarify anything, right, you can email me, but please title your email properly because yeah, if you don't do this, it's just gonna end up in the junk folder and I might never see your email. So okay, I will check the junk folder a few times a month, not every day. Okay, so yeah, my name is J. Avery Larson. Okay, so I look like this. Hello. Yeah. Okay. So I'm also going to turn off my webcam because it's going to take up a bit of the processing power of this laptop. Okay, so okay, so you can call me J. This is my communication name. Okay, Avery Larson is my meaning name. So usually students just call me J. Okay, this is our what we're going to talk about today. And since I think some of you all have made purchases, you all can start filling in the ICS or request during this. Okay, if I'm going too fast, you just tell me to slow down a bit. Huh? Okay, so I hope everybody has already applied for credit GIRO because this is the finance mechanism that allows once you finance or NSS finance. Okay, NSS is once you check services. Okay, finance to credit money into your account by GIRO. So if you do not have this when you submit an ICS claim, most likely your claim will remain in limbo until your credit gyro is in place. So to avoid that from happening, I think you should apply for it today if you have not done so. But by right, you should have applied for it in May, where the announcement was given. Okay, so that's it for credit gyro. Do not submit an ICS request until you have applied for credit gyro, because yeah, you don't want the process to be somewhere because NSS Finance cannot pay you. Okay, now let's continue to how it looks like. Okay, looks like this. You just fill in accordingly. Your bank account number, your bank code. Okay, here should be your name and your program. If you need further clarifications on how to fill up this, yeah, just refer back to the old announcement, which is, okay, let me duplicate more of this because I might refer to a couple of announcements. I think it's quite some time ago. Over here on the 12th of May. Okay, so if you have not done so, please apply for your credit gyro. There's a guideline here to help you fill in the form because I think there are other sections after you press continue. Okay, so that's how you fill up and apply for your credit gyro. If you have not done so, or you know teammates who are buying things now and they have not done their credit gyro, tell them to do it now. Okay, because students are only allowed to claim for their own purchases. So now let's go on to the next part, which is the documents required. Okay. The process summary. Okay, let me go back to the announcement again. This one. Yeah. Okay, so they are mostly detailed out here, but I will just go through it in this recording also. Okay, so you need your original hard copies and invoices. If they give you a hard copy, you need to scan them into PDFs. So thermal paper receipts have a tendency to fade, especially when exposed to light and heat, whether is it from the sun or from your computer, you know, the exhaust fan, or you put it into a folder, but the folder and all the receipts are in your bag. So the thing is, you're walking, everything is shaking in your bag. The receipts will flop against each other, and yeah, the writings will fit. So if the printed text splits, it's very hard to justify what's the value. So what you want to do is immediately scan them, okay, or if you can, claim them as soon as possible as ICS requires. Okay, e-invoices for online platforms, there are certain conditions to meet that validates that invoice. Keep like, you know, you have no refunds pending, your order is completed, because sometimes they might reissue you an invoice with the refund stated in it. Yeah. So make sure everything is settled before you continue to claim it. This is actually very useful because this allows you to find how much your bank is charging you in advance of whatever the merchant charged you. Because sometimes your merchant charges you $100. But because it was a foreign currency transaction, but you're paying Sing dollars, the bank will charge you additional fees. And you also are paying for forex fees and fees, etc., etc. That's how everyone makes money in the finance world. Okay, so sometimes the bank deducts 110 from you. So how do you prove 110 is the amount that Continue Finance must refund you instead of $100 from the merchant? You have to show using your credit or debit card transactions print out from the bank, or every month they issue you one. Okay, use that, right? Okay, and also include PDF print out of the debit or credit card policy, because that's how you justify the additional charges. Okay, and yeah, when you ask for purchase approval, right? Yeah, please CC me, so that CCJ, okay, so that I'm also in the loop. So in case if you do not have record, you lost it somewhere in the folder, okay, I'm able to support your case because I have a record of your approval request. Okay, but do ask Dr. Ho for approval, please, before going ahead and buying something, because yeah, it's not very nice to buy first and then ask permission later. Okay, so remember, everything must be in PDFs. You cannot upload image files. You also cannot upload Word files. But this time I got a Word file, and it's like, oh, cannot. Okay, only upload PDF. The reason why is most likely you can't really modify the PDFs and then upload it without losing public information. Okay, I know that there are means to do it, but uh, it is to show that this PDF is from you and nobody else has made changes from it. Okay, so do not use image files, do not use Word documents. Okay, just PDFs, everything in PDFs. Okay. Yeah, so this is most of the documents required from your end. Okay, there are additional PDFs that you need to upload. For example, there's this new requirement this year, which is can I zoom in so that you all can see this better? Okay, yeah. So there's this requirement of a pre-approval granted to all students so that you all can use the finance accounts. Okay, so this one is just an administrative procedure. Download this and then catch it. Okay, so that's the idea of the documents required. Now we'll go in detail to what the various documents. Okay, so first thing is your thermal paper receipts. Okay, as mentioned just now, they feel very easily. And like maybe in 1 or 2 months, if you don't take care of it, you put it in the sun, yeah, whatever tax on it is gone. And then you can't claim it already because you can't prove your purchase. So make sure you scan them as PDF. It's always a PDF. Okay, so not just be right down somewhere for anyone who's refreshing this in the future also. Okay, so must always be PDF. So it look like something like this. For example, this is from a merchant called Link. Okay, so what is the name of your merchant? Okay, do they have a invoice, transaction, or receipt number? Okay, so here, this is the receipt number. Okay, sometimes it's somewhere. I'm going to show you all more examples later. Okay, so you have to, do a little bit of reading and find out, okay, where they put their receipt number or transaction number. Source is somewhere on the receipt. Okay, it's fine. Okay, then check whether there's GST. Okay, this one is GST registered, so most likely there will be GST involved over here. Okay, so if you see a GST registered, but they never show this 9% GST, you go to IRAS and check, okay, whether is it GST registered. If they ask, also select 9% GST. Okay, but usually if they give you a thermal paper receipt, the GST will be shown to you. Okay, so another example is this. Okay, this is Daiso, so should be more familiar to you all. If you went to Daiso, their For example, their invoice number is over here. Okay, and they also state that they have GST. If they don't state this, but they have a GST number, yeah, over here. So if you see something like this, GST registered, yeah, you most likely have already paid for GST in the final price, because it really depends on whether the merchant takes the time to put their receipt printer to show this. If they don't show this, they will say that, the price includes prevalent taxes or GST inside, but they never explicitly state the amount. That one also means 9% GST. Okay, yeah. So these are from like supermarkets or restaurants. stores. Essentially to issue your this this is called sales slip or cash slip. Okay, so for, if you see something like this and it's like, oh, okay, this one is nice. This one will tell you how much they charge you for GST over here. Okay, but sometimes they don't write it, so you must check whether is there this GST business number. Okay, so if it's GST registered, you can go and find out using that number. Okay, or if you have the UEN number of the business, you can also go to IRAS and check whether uh they have GST involved. So maybe I should put it somewhere in the announcement so that you all can check. It's actually a link. Okay, hold on, let me just bring it up for you. It's over here. Okay, where is the announcements? Okay, so it's this portal, GST registered business search, or if you just open Chrome and you search for IRAS GST business. Okay, so that will allow you to find out whether the business is GST registered. Sometimes they don't really explicitly state it, like Shopee does not explicitly state it that the GST registered, but in their invoice they say, prices include prevalent taxes and stuff. So they don't state the amount, but they tell you that the amount GST has already been accounted for and you're paying for it. So, alright, so that's it for checking whether a business is GST registered or not, okay, in case the receipt or the invoice isn't clear. Okay, so now we are moving on to invoices from online platforms. Okay, these are the conditions to be fulfilled. Okay, there must be successful payment made. There must be successful delivery. Okay, order must be completed. If you have any refunds, the order is not completed. You have to wait for the refund to be processed, amount returned to you. They reissue you a new invoice stating that, okay, this thing has been refunded. Let's say you bought 5 items in one order. One of the items is damaged or lost in transit or, okay, a lot of reasons, but it never arrived, or you have to return it because you don't need the part because it's spoiled, or you have a return window. Yeah, okay, a lot of reasons. But you only paid for 4, or you only use 4 in your project. You cannot claim for the 5th item. You have to wait for the refund to be completed. Then you can claim that particular order number has the 4 items that you set and you used it in your MNT project. Okay, so yeah. So you must show your payment amount, how much you paid for, what method you paid for, Okay, and that transaction must appear in your bank statement or your list of transactions in your history. What is this history of transactions that you can see from your bank website? Okay, you can also use that one, but you need to back it up with an old statement to show that you own the account, but you can use that to show that that's the transaction. Okay. Okay, so regarding discounts, right? Do not use your Shopee or Lazada coins or whatever coins system that platform has because you will not be reimbursed for your own coins that you use to reduce the price. Okay, because a couple of years that the students they know they bought the item first and then they use their own, let's say, Shopee coins, like maybe 1,000 Shopee coins, which is about $10. Okay, they use that to pay for that project purchase. So they wanted to get the 1,000 coins worth $10 back, but no, it wasn't allowed because you're not supposed to use your own coins to pay for the M&T project purchases. Okay, so do not use your own coins or points or whatever equivalent to offset the amount. Okay, but let's say you want to use a voucher, which is from Shopee. That one don't really have a monetary value, as in you didn't get it from cashback programs, it gives you points instead. So if you want to use a Shopee voucher to offset the price, it's up to you. Okay, that one you also will not get back any reimbursements regarding that. Okay, so that's it for using the farm points credit system or vouchers. Okay, do you all have any other questions regarding this? The invoices? Yeah, it's actually faster to unmute and ask. Okay, so if there are no more questions, I will now go on to the next part, which I will detail out the how to print out from the website. Okay, because if you put a photo of the order on your app, it's very limited in the amount of information that it can show you. So ideally, you want to print it out using your laptop, enter, let's say, Shopee or Lazada or Alibaba, okay, and then print out the order page if they did not issue you an invoice. Because not too sure about when will they issue you a invoice. I think Shopee now you can always click for e-invoice. Okay, that one is also accepted when the order is completed. Okay, but sometimes they don't. I'm not sure when Lazada gives the invoice either. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. Yeah. Okay, so what are things to take note of when you print out from the web browser? Maybe just to ask, you all know how to do a print out from the web browser, hopefully. So for example, okay, this is the IRS website. Okay, so let's say I have OCBC card. What's this happening? Okay. OCBC credit card policy. I think some of y'all might do this for your own banks also. Okay, so let's say credit card. Let's say I have one of this, for example. Okay, then I need to know what is my policy. So let's say go down terms and conditions. Okay, fees and charges over here. Okay. So let's say I need to print this out to support one of my which I use to not the interest rate. It's the foreign currency transaction. Let's say you pay in Sing dollars. Okay, then it's converted into some other currency that you pay for your overseas purchases. Then there's like, okay, this kind of 1%, 2% administrative fee, depending on the tier of your card, etc. And what Visa, Masters, or Amex is it? I don't know. There's one payment method that uses a lot more money. Yeah. So let's say I just need this. So how do I print this out? Okay, you can download here if it gives you an option, or you can control P. So for example, let's say I want to print out more. Let's say I want to print out this page. I just press Ctrl P in your web browser, and then you can save as PDF. Okay, if you have more settings, you can change the scaling. I think I was printing something just now, that's why it wasn't 100%. Okay, so that's how you can print out your Shopee, uh, your Shopee page. Yes, from your web browser. So you log into your Shopee account or your Lazada account or some account that you have with some merchant, and then you can print it out from your web browser if order is completed. Okay, that's if they don't issue you an invoice. So if you print out from the online platform, this information must be there. Okay, platform banner, order number. Okay, must show that it's completed. Okay, Shopee is nice, tells you when the transaction happens. Not too sure about other platforms. I know Lazada also shows it. Okay, but maybe Amazon does not. You can try. Okay, so there must be proof of delivery. What items do you buy? This can be even longer, depending on how many items do you buy. Okay, cost breakdown. This is the final amount that I paid for, 16.05. Okay, and I paid for it using my credit card. Okay, so this 16.05 must appear somewhere in your credit card statement. But the thing is, with Shopee, right, sometimes they like to, support several orders on the same day under one single transaction. Okay, and that's why you don't want to mix your personal and project purchases in the same order. Keep it separate, huh? Okay, because you will have a difficult time justifying why is this item there that you need for your project, and then your other items are also there. And it's like, where are the other items? Then how do you show that, yeah, this item is used for M&T project? It's very, very annoying to justify that. So don't mix your personal purchases with your project purchases because, yeah, just I know you're trying to meet the voucher spend perhaps to get maybe a $20 off, maybe $100 spend. Okay, but try not to fall for that temptation to merge your personal purchases with the project purchases because yeah, it's like okay. Right, so that's for Shopee. Okay, same thing for Lazada. Don't mix your personal project purchases in the same order. Just separate them. Okay, so I'm moving on now. And these are the Lazada look for the order. And it's, you see that it's different from Shopee. Shopee is in portrait mode. Lazada is unfortunately landscape mode. So you need to tilt your page. For example, if I go back to that page again, which is the Go search, you can always change this from portrait to landscape. Yeah, if you need to, but depending on how they code it. Yeah, Lazada does not do well with portrait mode. You will see a lot of information being custom. Okay, but if Lazada or Shopee gives you a voucher, then not voucher, invoice. Use the invoice. Okay, invoice is also simple. Okay, wait, let me see. What was the question? Hi, if I bulk purchase from multiple vendors, Shopee charges me one fee for everything. The shipping fee, right? Yeah. If you are buying from multiple vendors, but all of them they charge you one shipping fee, but they're all your project purchases. That one is fine. The thing is when you're mixing your personal purchases with your project purchases. Yeah. One invoice show one part and its own fee only. Oh, if they give you an invoice for the different vendors. That means, let's say one vendor you buy two, the next one you buy three, and then the third one you buy two again. But the first and second one is for your project purchases. The third one is for your personal purchases. They will all appear as one line item in your bank transaction. You get you get what I'm trying to say? For example, you are buying from three vendors, okay, and you're buying on Shopee or Lazada, for example. But when they bill to your card, right, they charge it as one single transaction, which is going to be more than whatever you're claiming for. Uh, do you want to unmute and ask? Yeah, because I'm trying to infer your situation from reading your text. So, do you mind if you unmute and let me know the situation?
Hi, can you hear
Yeah,
me now?
yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah, so what I was asking is that for bulk purchases, like from 3 different vendors, and then we
Mm.
submit our claim, we can only like submit the claim for per item, right? Or per vendor. But then our bank
Uh,
statement, it'll be one charge for everything.
yeah, so let's say you can claim for multiple order numbers in one ICS request. So you
Oh,
only need to
okay.
enter one ICS request, but multiple line items. One line item corresponds to one order.
Okay, okay. Thank you very
Yeah, but
much.
the thing is, if your order, right, let's say you you have your and then you have let's say you have uh 7 different items in your cart, and you because you want to save on the shipping cost, so you want to buy all 7 items at one go, different quantities per item. The 7 items are from 3 different vendors: vendor A, vendor B, vendor C. So vendor A and B, let's say in total 5 items, they are used for your project purchases. But vendor C is your personal purchase. I don't know what you buy, but you have 2 items there. Okay, but when you charge to your bank, your card or whatever, in your bank transactions, it will appear as one line item, one transaction. And the amount there is bigger than vendor A's and vendor B's sum added together. So finance gonna ask, how come you're claiming less? Where's this exact transaction? Then, uh, yeah,
Okay, okay. Thank you very much.
yeah. So that's why I was trying to say maybe split your personal purchases and project purchases to be separate. I know you want to save on the shipping cost, so you can keep shipping cost for your project purchases. Yeah, it's the personal purchases that's the shipping cost. That's the thing lah. Yeah. Okay, but ideally separate because yeah, don't know what kind of questions they will ask. Because remember, when you support your claims, right, you have to include your bank transaction list, and we will check if these 2 items are included. Because Shopee likes to also join the sums together as one transaction on that date. Yeah, maybe a few hours later, it might be a different transaction line, different row on your bank transaction statement. But usually, if you buy together, they will not charge separately. So everything is in one transaction with a particular date and time. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, because later you see you have to support your claims using your bank statement. Okay. Let's get back to this. If you print out from Lazada, yeah, all this information must be there. Okay, it's very similar to Shopee, but okay, the Lazada display is okay, top right instead. Here they have the payment information, completed information all the way here. Okay, payment method is also here, but I think there's the price. Okay, here there's a breakdown. Okay, so yeah, this is it for Lazada if they don't issue you an invoice for the particular order. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. If they don't, print out from the website. Okay, but if both will work, yeah. But if you print out from the website, just make sure all this information is there. You have to resize your page zoom sometimes to include all the information. Okay, so that's it for the 2 big platforms that most people use to buy things. These are the online marketplaces. Okay, so make sure you get an invoice when you buy something else, because I think some students also tried to buy from Carousel. Yeah, Carousel usually Carousel will not give you an invoice, or yeah, because it's very informal. Yeah, so if you are buying from Carousel, make sure you're buying from someone that can issue you an invoice, but you're taking a risk because you don't know whether they'll issue you in the first place. There's no legal compulsion for them to issue you an invoice. It's very informal. Same thing with eBay. If the seller that you're trying to get something from cannot guarantee you an invoice, cannot guarantee that they will take back whatever product that's bought, even in delivery. Yeah, then it's best to avoid that because in the end you still want to get your money back, right? Because this is an M&T project. So yeah, make sure you protect yourself. Make sure you can support your purchases by getting receipts and invoices issued under, from a registered business, but they're on eBay or Carousel for some reason. Okay, but make sure they're able to issue you proper invoices and receipts. Okay, but the recommendation is don't buy from informal marketplaces. Always get it from formal marketplaces. Okay, or online platforms that are recognized as commercial entities. Okay, so yeah, if you have refunds, this is what needs to be fulfilled. Okay, because there will always be refunds. Okay, it must be successfully refunded. And what does it mean to be successfully refunded? There must be an acknowledgement from customer support or from their automated system that, okay, we accept your refund. Okay, because you have successfully returned the item, it's been collected. Uh, the people there check, okay, nothing is wrong with the item because you don't need it anymore, so it returns policy. Yeah, but it's considered also as refund. Okay, so make sure everything is there, the documentation is there, and the refund actually appears in your bank statement or your bank transaction history. Yeah, because you need to show that, yeah, I've been refunded this from the original order. Because the original order, let's say, is $100. You refunded $25. You cannot claim $100. You cannot claim 75. Okay, so you cannot claim the 75. That's why we need to see your refund transaction. Okay, then you can proceed with claiming. And ideally, you put this as the last line item. So what does this bottom of the line item Q means? It is, let me go back to the announcement again. So what's the second brief? This one, right? So I think maybe some students might be confused with this. Yeah, it's actually this over here. So for example, you have two orders or two invoices. Okay, sometimes they issue an invoice first, but you have a return windows of, let's say, 7 days. And in the 7 days, you find out that, okay, I don't really need this part or this component, and it's still within the return window. I can return it or get a refund. Okay, you go through that. And now this original, the first invoice that they give you is no longer accurate. You cannot claim that full sum. You have to wait for the refund to be processed from the platform or the merchant issues you a new invoice with the refunded amount. Okay, so these are what we call the problematic invoices. You put them at the end. So let's say you have n items. Okay, there will be the n minus one and n item. So you have 7 invoices. The last two, the 6 and the 7 one, are the ones with the refunds. So problematic invoices that puts. Okay, so you put them at last with all the various documentation ticked to those numbers. So then we can check easily. Or you also can look through and see, okay, this one belongs to number 6, this one belongs to number 7. So that's why we're trying to say, put them at the bottom of the line item queue so that we can know that these are the ones at the end with refunds. We'll just check to make sure everything is in order, and then we'll just forward on to the next person in the approval chain. So that's it for refunds. Any questions for this? Because sooner or later someone's going to get a refund situation, and yeah, what are they supposed to do in that situation? Any questions? Yeah, you can just unmute and ask. Okay, so if there are no more questions, then I'll proceed. Yeah, so I think you all have encountered the refund situation here, right? Okay, anything you can email me. Just remember to title your email. Okay, so next is the proof of payment. Okay, so you need to only show your relevant transactions. Okay, don't show me your other transactions. Only show the transactions that correspond to your MNT purchases. Okay, how do you blank out these irrelevant transactions? Okay, you have to use a PDF reader to do it. I'll show it to you later. Okay, you also need to not blank out the bank letterhead, your address, full legal name. Okay, everything's under PDPA lah. So whenever we look at your documents, after that, once that the claim, the ICS request has been processed, we'll just shred all the documents. So every time when there's a resubmission after amendment, to re-download all the documents again. So yeah, but this is to assure you that yeah, it's there for NSS Finance to match to your uh, information that you have in the system. Because when you set up your GIRO, all this information from the bank will be given to finance to make the payment because they want to make sure that they're paying the correct person. Okay, so yeah, and this is also the reason why students can only claim for their own purchases because if you upload a statement and in that statement the person's name is not yours, it's going to raise a lot of flags. So yeah, make sure that it matches the payment. Okay, so yeah, this is the PDF reader. I'm using Foxit Reader. It's free. If you are worried, restrict all firewall access to the reader. That means don't let it communicate with anyone else after you install it onto your laptop or your Mac. Okay, so how do you do this? Yeah, I'm going to show it to you now because you really don't want people to see your bank balance or what kind of subscriptions you have or income from somewhere. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, how do you use this PDF reader? Okay, so what I have here is a form from 2025 last year. And what you notice is, do you see my tool here? This is my select tool. Okay, the hand tool is for navigation. Okay, there's a select tool here. And the thing is, if I can do this, I can select text, right? So if there's a blanco here, we call this a blankout or blanco, there's information here and I won't be able to select this and show it to you lah because it's the student's name. Okay, so I'm just going to use this URL here. Okay, I don't think anyone can decipher who is this. So where is the area highlight? Okay, this is the area highlight that you saw in the slide over here. Okay, that's the area highlight too. Okay, so let's say if I blank this out. Oh wait, where's the answer to? Area highlight blank. Is it black? Wait, is it black? Oh no, it's not black. Okay, make sure it's black first. Properties. Where is the where's the box? Okay, I got 4 monitors. I need to look for it. Okay, it looks like this. Okay, make sure this one you change it to black. Oh no, black. Okay. Oh wait, properties. Black. Set current properties. Default. Lock. Totally. Okay. Okay, for some reason, it did not allow me to select color palettes because this is my main monitor, so I do not know where the color palette went to. Okay, so let me try again. Oh, it's black. Okay, it's black now. Okay, okay, so the thing is, usually people will just, save the view form, right? And then that's it. Submit this PDF. The thing is, yeah, I can select text here. Can Control C. Okay, now it's copied and in my clipboard somewhere. And where is my notepad? Okay, prepare this notepad. Control V. Yeah, so what does this tell you? You did not preserve your privacy. I'm able to select whatever you blank out and see your bank balance and see what things you're subscribing to or see where your income is coming from. So you have it's like hustle somewhere. Okay. So yeah, it's not preserving your privacy and right, you should preserve your privacy before submitting the PDF or uploading the PDF. Okay, so how do you make sure that this does not happen to you? Okay, once you are done, you can go out everything. I think I have different pop-ups this time. Okay, so you control T, you pin as image. Okay, yeah, you're still printing as a PDF. Because I said everything must be in PDF, right? Which is a requirement. Everything must be in PDF. So how do you make sure that nobody can select text in your bank statement? Okay, you print as image, then other settings should be about the same as mine. And then you press OK. So what happens is, uh, wait, sorry, that's not supposed to be the correct page. Uh, where's this concept? Concept briefing use. Save it as this image PDF. Okay, save. Yes. Okay, this one I don't need this anymore. Okay, you see that bar where it says flattening. Then Foxit should open that new one, but my computer is slow, so just let me check. Is it flatten? Briefing use sample image PDF. Okay, so I'm gonna open this in Foxit, but in another app with multiple readers because I like to read different things. Okay, so let's say I have this, and now you see I can't select any text. So that's how you make sure that it's still a PDF, nobody can select things behind blank plot portions. Okay, so yeah, so this is STDU reader lah. This is Foxit reader. Foxit reader is the one with the area highlight. Okay, this is the one that yeah, where's the URL over here? Allows me to select text behind your blank out portion if you don't print it as a PDF. So if you have your own app that allows you to do this, and you already paid for it, use the one. Just do it. Make sure that the blank out portions. You can't select the text behind the blank portions. Okay, so I'm not going to save this because I want to do another observation before I do this. Okay, so hopefully I've demonstrated how to blank out your irrelevant transactions so that you can preserve your privacy. You just need to show the relevant transactions. Okay, so yeah, every year I get to see someone's bank balance. So yeah, okay, I can't tell you how much it is. I don't remember who it is either. So okay, but that's what I observe every year. There will always be someone who forgot to print it as a PDF, but the output is still print it as an image, but the output is still a PDF. Okay, so hopefully that has allowed you all to learn how to do it. Okay, we're now going on to the, for example, the documents that you need to show your transactions. Okay, you need your statement, which is usually given to you every month from the bank, but sometimes you don't want to wait for your statement. So you can use an old statement and you only need the page where it shows, okay, who's this bank here? There might be some bank where the main office is, some address. Then this is your name, maybe your address here. Okay, then account summary, okay, account number, or maybe summary, okay, account number. If you want to You don't need to show your entire card number. I think you only need to show the last 4 digits of your card number. But if you want to show the whole thing, as long as you don't have the CVV number, it should still be reasonably safe because no one is going to try and use your card and buy stuff for their own friends, so you shouldn't be doing it. Okay, but if you want to censor, you censor the middle, because I think there are blocks of 4. You censor the middle 2 blocks. First one is for Visa or Master. Last one is your unique number. Somewhere in the middle is also something for your okay, but I don't exactly know how the numbers work either. So yeah, but you need to show that you own that. So somehow you can identify that that is your card. Okay, then after that, you can go to your bank and print out the transaction details. Okay, so for example, if you own this account, yeah, then in your previous month statement, yeah, the account number should be there. Okay, it's just to match ownership to account. Yeah, because sometimes the bank only show you the account number, they don't show you the, the name of the account holder. So I don't know how to design the transaction history portal that you see on the web page. So yeah, I know some students like to take photo from their phone and then save it as a PDF. Problem is your phone is very limited in size. So it's always better to go to your bank using the web portal, log in, go to transaction history and print out transactions from there. Okay, that's if you don't want to wait for your bank statement. Your bank statement should have all the information there. You just need to blanco out the you just need to blank out the irrelevant transactions. For those who don't want to wait for the bank statement, you can use an old statement, just the page that shows that you own the account with all your details and the bank details. And that PDF you can recycle for every single ICS request. So it depends on how you want to do things. Oh, if you paid using your parents' card, that one you need to show that the person is your parent. Yeah. Okay, email me if you have done that. I will bring you through that. It's not recommended, but sometimes I know that students need their parents to pay for the item because it's very expensive and the credit card has buyer's protection. You can always perform a chargeback if the transaction is fraudulent or the item never received, but they say you have buyer's protection when you use credit card. Okay, so if you use your parents' card, you have to show that the person is your parent, which means you might have to show or attach your birth cert. Okay, so unless you can get the information from student portal, the student portal show your parents' name? Because if you have already registered in the information under your student details, you try student link, yeah, from service now. If you can get the information from student link, print out that page as a PDF again, show that this person name is your no, not me. You have to attach it into the ICS request. Because they want to what's it's a different name from you. So the thing is they are reimbursing you, not the person. So they must be like this person. Yeah, so it's you have to show that okay, this is my mom or my dad. Uh and don't use your siblings card. Please don't use your siblings card. Use your parents card. Parents are easier to show because you might have registered their information in the student portal. Yeah, so if you have your parents' name in the student portal, then you don't need to attach your birth cert. Yeah, you just print out. Okay, in fact, your emergency contact. Okay, I'm not too sure whether emergency contact is suitable. Yeah, it's actually a very, very tricky situation sometimes because it's like, what do you need to show that this person is your parent? The best thing is your birth cert. Yeah, but sometimes you don't want to show your birth cert because a lot of other private information. So the best thing I can think of is you go student portal, onto student portal and print out who's your next of kin. Yeah. Okay, but do not email me the birth cert using email. Attach it to the ICS request. This is my parent. this is their bank transaction statement or their bank statement or statement. Yeah, to help me pay for it. Okay, but it doesn't hurt to email me and inform me in advance that, yeah, my parents helped me buy this. So, yeah. So when you submit the request, you can also tell me in the request, but do not attach your birth cert in the email. Attach it to the ICS request. Okay, because yeah. Okay, so I'm assuming that for most of the students here, you are going to use your own account, your own card, or your own bank account to buy things. Okay, so yeah, let's say you buy something from overseas and they want it in SGD. No, not in SGD, in USD. Do not pay using your USD wallet. Pay in your HGD wallet. So the bank will do the forex exchange, will convert your HGD into USD, use it to pay the merchant. Okay, so it's like, huh? Wouldn't that be, not very nice rates? Yeah, but the thing is, NTU will not refund you in USD. NTU will only refund you in SGD. Okay, so if you pay in SGD, then you can support all your charges and how much you pay in total. Okay, you will get the full amount back. So try not to use your personal USD or what other foreign currency to buy MNC items. Okay, because you might take a loss. Because as you can see here, right, this student, they paid in Sing dollars. Okay, but the transaction is actually in USD. Okay, so this amount will include uh, charges. Okay, so it's alright, it's alright. Just if you can always pay in SGD, it's easier. Okay, some banks, they are very nice. They will show you exactly how much you are paying in the foreign currency. Okay, on what date was the transaction. Okay, so yeah. Okay, and if you want to help us check the claim request easier, faster, expedited, you can put in, actually, please, if you can put in the item number. This one corresponds to item number or corresponds, you can just put a 016 there. Big, you can use your PDF editor to do this. It's very helpful. I don't need to look through all the transactions to see which one matches which ones because sometimes the student forgot to blank out all the other transactions. And it's really Sherlock, because they gave me there was one time a student gave me a attachment with like 20 over pages of transactions. And then they never put this number there. That was like, I really have to check which date is which date and make sure that the transaction is there. Yeah, so if you can show this number matching the number that you use for the particular uh, line item in your ICS request, it will be very helpful. Yeah. Okay, but also please don't show me all 20 plus pages of transactions. Yeah, you just need to show us the relevant transactions. Blank out everything else like this. Okay, you can use black or you can use white. It's your choice. Just make sure that you blank out your other transactions. Okay. Okay. So any other questions regarding this proof of payment? Because this one is always a recurring question. Every year is like, how do I prove my transactions? Because sometimes this amount, right, might be more than whatever that's stated in your like for example AliExpress in this case invoice because there are additional charges from the bank. Yeah. This is actually very important if you are making purchases from overseas and you're not exactly paying in SGD to the merchant because they want it in USD usually, but you're paying SGD. So there's always this change of currency and the bank will always try to make money from it. Yeah. So any other questions regarding this? Okay, if no more questions, I'll move on. Yeah, it's always faster to unmute and ask. Yeah. Okay. More questions, ah? Okay, so I'm going on now to the next part, which is purchase approval. Okay, I think everyone knows about this already. Okay, so it's just restating of how much it is that you need to ask approval. Okay, if one item is $100 or more, SGD, Sing dollars or more, larger or equal sign. Okay, yeah, I know in the briefing side, in the briefing slides, the equal sign is gone. I think my previous slide, the equal sign is also gone. Okay, but yeah, this year is $100 or more. So anything that's three figures and above, you need to ask Dr. Ho's approval for one item. So if you have multiple items that add up to $100 or more, each of the items less than $100, you do not need to ask him for email approval before buying. Okay, before buying, yeah. Okay, if your shipping is $20 or more, also please ask for approval. So let's say I have 50 items. Okay, for 50 items, total more than $500. Each of the items is less than $100. Okay, I don't need to ask for email approval before buying. The thing is for the merchant or the platform to ship all these 50 items to Singapore, NTU, SPMS, I need to pay $25 for the logistics cost, shipping from overseas and then coming to Singapore, okay, or the UPS or something, everything $25. That one you have to ask Dr. Ho for approval, not for the total sum of $500, for the shipping cost of $25. Okay, so this is the and or. It's either one of each or both is. Okay, you have to ask for email approval. Okay, sorry, let me get a drink of water first. Okay, so if alternatives are not possible because yeah, the Suez Canal, Red Sea region is quite unstable place nowadays. So yeah, if you cannot get it, let's say from mainland PRC, okay, then you might have to get it from Europe because they're the only one who make it because it's a very high precision product. Mm. Or maybe it's some component that made in Germany and it's only made in Germany. Okay, then you have to ship it over and or even you have to expedite the shipping, so you have to use air freight. Or that one you have to pay maybe 60 to 70 uh dollars for that to be shipped over. Okay, but you really, really need it for your project. Okay, then you need to justify it in your email to Dr. Ho. Okay, so yeah, please email him in advance first before buying. It's not very nice to buy first and ask for permission after that. Okay, yeah, he's a nice person, so usually he would say yes, but just don't do it to him all the time. Okay, ask permission first before going ahead and buying it. If you have already bought it, because I know some of you have done purchases, okay, and one of these criteria has been triggered or even both, uh, just tell him in advance first that Dr. Ho, sorry, we forgot to ask permission from you, but we need to read this part because of reason, and yeah, and we're now trying to claim it. So before you submit the claim, you ask for his, you know, uh, approval first, in the sense, telling him that yeah, we bought it, but we forgot to ask permission. Okay, so yeah, but try not to do it all the time, because if you go out and work and you do it all the time, I think your boss will sit you down and give you some tea and then have a, you know, to, okay, yeah, so yeah, better not do it lah. Okay, so yeah, then okay, so don't worry, he should still okay your reimbursement. Yeah, just tell him before you claim it lah, and try not to do it from now on because now you have been briefed. Okay, so account numbers to use. Okay, this is a formality. I just need to show this in this recording, but it's already on the announcement and it's confirmed. Okay, so where is it? Okay, wait, this is the briefing. Okay, it's all here. So just refer to this table in the announcement, which is the process summary. Okay, next is the idea of the claims progress or the process. You want to if you want to, you can separate between online and in-store purchases. Okay, or you can separate between cash and okay, because usually for card we will need to see your statement. And usually you use your card for more expensive purchases. Like one item might be at least $100 and above. Yeah, you want the buyer's protection from card instead. Okay, if you paid by PayLah, PayNow, what are other options? Mavi Bank, okay, or Wise. Okay, Wise is still this is those kind of virtual cards. Okay, yeah, it's good to show from your balance how much is deducted. If you're paying by fiat cash, you go to the shop and pay them $120, but you pay in cash. Then they give you the cash slip, or in your receipt it says cash. There's no way to show it from your bank transaction. You pay in nets, at least you still can see it in your bank transaction history. So maybe you want to split it in this way, cash versus card payment, or you want to split it online and in-store purchases. Okay, yeah. Usually we will suggest this instead, cash versus card, or virtual, yeah, electronic payment methods. Okay, and when you raise your ICS request, right, you're capped at $999.99. Try not to hit $1,000. Okay, I think if you hit $1,000, I might have to bounce it back to you and then tell you to take out one transaction. Yeah, okay. It's just there's some requirement that yeah, I think it's safer for students that their ICS request total is less than 1,000. You can have multiple uh line items, like what I showed you in the where's my PDF reader? Oh, I moved it off screen. Yeah. Like for example, you see this? There can be multiple line items. Yeah. But the total is in this case about 700. Okay, so as long as the total is not 1,000, it's below 1,000. Yeah, you can just put as I think there's also in the number of line items that you can select, maybe 20 or more. But yeah, as long as the total is less than 1,000, yeah, go ahead. You can submit everything in one request, but also don't hold until the end and then submit everything in one go because sometimes you might lose your receipts. Yeah, then the one is okay. Okay. Once you are done with the ICS request and you press submit, also simultaneously send me, Jay, an email with this title. Okay. So why is yeah, there are a lot of groups. I get a lot of emails. Yeah, and I need to know who is who. So it's best for you to send me the email to notify me of the submission using this. Because ICS system will notify me, but it will only give me the reference number. I do not know whose group is this. Because you are tracking your group spending, I'm also tracking your all the group spending. So not just me, the lab manager, Yao Xiang, everyone wants to know that you are within budget, you see. So yeah, just let me know that you have submitted it. Tell me like, for example, okay, I use my parents' card. Yeah, all this kind of information. You just put it in the email. Just let me know also. Because I think I'm going to be the first one to see your ICS request. Okay, so I'm also most likely therefore going to be your ping pong partner because I will check, make sure it is to standard. Then I will forward it to the local NSS support colleague and they will check. If anything, they will liaise with you if something is lacking. And then after that, it goes up the approval chain. So I will most likely be your first ping pong partner. And hopefully we have less and less ping pong matches as time goes on because you are used to the process. Okay, so once it's approved by Dr. Ho and the finance fund controller, because it's accounts now with SPMS, so the controller also has to approve it. Okay, so once that happens, it's approved, it goes through the whole system processed. You should get it back in about seven, eight, seven, 21 working days. If you do not get your money back by 3 working weeks after approval, okay, please let me, Jay, know so that I will go and ask around and find out what happened to your claim. Okay, but sometimes NSS Finance, after approval, NSS Finance, as they process the claim, they might come and contact you because of certain requirements that we do not know of. Okay, so what we know of is what I've been told to you in this briefing. Okay, they might have additional internal requirements that we do not know of because we are not in the finance. So if they contact you, yeah, please try to reply to their email as soon as possible because yeah, it will just hold up the claims. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I use the term ping pong because it keeps bouncing back and forth because of amendments. Yeah. Okay, so these are the rules. Again, it will be listed already. It's already been listed here. Yeah, it's already been listed on the announcement. So that's it for that. Okay. Yeah. So are y'all ready for the hands-on exercise? Okay. Are y'all able to log into ICS? Okay, this is the staff point of view. I think student point of view for service now should be similar for now with the hamburger sign also in the top right corner. If you click on it, it should open a drop-down menu and then you go to finance services. Okay, so when you go to finance services, there's a lot of things there to select. You just maybe control F, search for integrated or search for claims. And with that, you can see that it's over here. Okay, so for us, it's staff reimbursement. For students, I think it's just track reimbursement claims. Fortunately, we don't get to see the student point of view. Okay, if you are unable to find it from ServiceNow, you can also use the link provided in the announcement. Where's the announcement? Okay, the announcement is here. And I think the link right at the bottom. This will bring you directly to the ICS system. Okay, but you have to log in using your student domain, okay, and your NT username and password. Okay, so I give you some time to log in. If you have not been, okay, so for those who are already in, yeah, everyone that has bought something, you all can click on the new claim already. Okay, if you have a draft, you can click on this instead and amend whatever you have quite previously. Okay, for those who have seen this for the first time, you can go to new claim. Once you click new claim, okay, you will see this appear.
Hi, sorry. How do I
Uh-huh.
access the ServiceNow ICS thing?
Oh, you want to go from service now lah? Because I paste the link in chat. Yeah.
I'm at
If you
the
want to
one
go from
stop. I don't know what to press.
Okay, for one stop, right? I think it's the same as service now. You press the hamburger sign in the top right.
To get to this ServiceNow website, because mine just shows one stop.
Oh, one stop. How about you type in the search bar? Maybe you type claims system. Does it appear?
Expense claim system, is it?
Uh, expense claim system is for staff. Yeah. How about is there option for integrated claim system?
Sorry, again?
Expense claim system, ECS expense claim system. That one is for staff. Students are still using integrated claims system. Start with I. It's on the ICS.
Don't have it. The search result only show ECS.
Oh, what? Okay, then I think y'all will really have to use the link that I pasted in chat and in the announcement.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, do you have access to service now? Or is it only one stop? Yeah, that's the problem. I don't get student previews. Okay, this information might not be relevant if you do not have access to service now. Yeah. Okay, then like this, please use the link provided in the Zoom chat and also on the announcements. Yeah, because students are able to access service now. Is everyone able to log in?
Even when I search the finance services, they only show BECS.
Yeah, CS for staff. Yeah, but please use ICS instead. Use the link that's given in the Zoom chat. Uh, anyone else have difficulty logging into ICS?
Okay, I think I can access now. I see the same
So
page.
same page as what is on the share screen.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for confirming. Everyone else got able to access? Okay, so I might have to look for someone and find out how you access it from my store. Yeah, because I'm quite surprised that they didn't have service now available for students. Okay, so once you're on, this is the new claim. If you have draft, it will be as drafted as what you did. Okay, so these are your line items over here. Okay, so every time you click one, it will create a new row. But once you do the first one, when you click create another line item, right, it should duplicate the account numbers and QR codes, whatever that you need to fill in for that particular line item. Okay, but you might have to modify the description, the receipt number, GST amount. Yeah. So the next one is your attachment section. So you click this to upload. Okay, once you choose your file. Remember to click because there was this time where I tried to upload because last time we were also on the ICS. I tried to upload stuff and then I forget to click upload. I have to do the whole thing all over again. So yeah, just remember to click the upload button after you choose that file. Okay, it's not uploaded until you click it. Okay, later we will choose the verifier. That will be me. Okay, and also remember to save often. Yes, yes, yes. It happens to everyone. You fill up, let's say 10 line items, you attach, let's say 15 files, PDFs, and then forgot to press save. And then the system locks you out. And then when you come back again, everything is gone. Then you go and put your bumper poster for 5 minutes and then come back and do it again. Yeah. So, okay, so remember to save often. Okay, because it happens to a lot. Sometimes I hear, the system locked me out and I forgot to save. Yeah. Okay, so that's save every time you upload something or you create a new line item. It's just make sure you don't have pin. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Right. So when you upload your screens, right, avoid special symbols because this I think is a very old program. So it don't really accept certain special symbols. So no dollar signs, no hex, no and I think commas also does not accept it. Underscore and dash it seems to be doing fine. I think so. Okay, so the best way is to exit yourself. After you upload it, see whether you can download it. If you cannot download that file that you upload, most likely everyone in the approval chain that's checking your ICS request will not be able to download it. Okay, so yeah, maybe that's why they are moving towards ICS in the future. For now, this year, everyone is using, all students are using ICS for their clips. Okay, so once you click on the add claim item, something empty will appear that looks like this. Okay, this one has been filled in. Okay, so this is where you fill in the description for that item. Ideally, use the same number here as the file name attachments that correspond to this particular line item. So for example, one line item for this invoice number, then your attachments also follow this number, 001. Then the next line, you just give a very simple description of what you bought. For example, if you bought 50 screws with a certain screw axle size, a certain length, okay, you can leave out the screw axle size and the length. You just say, okay, 50 screws, that's it. But if you have different types of screws, for some reason you have different sizes of screws, you just pick the most easily identifiable thing about the screws. Maybe it's the length. One is 20 mm, the other one is 30 mm, because different lengths to secure different things, or different board size. But don't need to be too specific. It's just a rough idea to let us know, okay, this line item, this is the things you bought. Okay, if anyone in the approval chain is curious about that particular item that you bought, we will download your attachment for that particular number that corresponds to this invoice, and we will look at the invoice instead to see what you bought. And we will usually do random checks, but if the things are very expensive, we will take a good look at that. Okay. Pay in Singapore dollar unless for some reason they will only accept a certain currency and you cannot pay in Sing dollars. But most banks will allow you to use Sing dollars to pay the merchant in that currency that they prefer. So just pay in Sing dollars to avoid the foreign currency transaction hurdle. It's actually quite a hurdle. Where was the announcement? Okay, I hope it doesn't bounce around. Okay, it seems to be. Oh yeah, it's gonna bounce around. Hold on, hold on. Where is it? 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 Oh, please. Okay, there's this fast way to search for it. It's foreign currency. Okay, so I don't need to scroll down all the time. Okay, so if you choose to pay them in a foreign currency, you might actually take a loss in a forex exchange because sometimes the exchange rate might not be favorable when you bought that foreign currency with SGD, and then now when you use it to pay for that item and NTU reimburses you in SGD, you might not get back the same amount of SGD. For example, previously you spent $100 to buy that foreign currency and use the foreign currency to buy the item. Then NTU refunds you 95 SGD. Yeah, it's like you're taking a loss of $5, which is, yeah, it can happen. Sometimes you might get $103 back, depending on the exchange rate. But this is not a very nice way to play forex. So yeah, you you better pay $dollars to avoid taking a loss because I can't guarantee, I don't think anyone in the approval chain can guarantee you getting back the original amount of $dollars that you used to buy that foreign currency. Okay, so yeah, ideally and strongly recommended to buy in dollars. Okay, so that's why this announcement was there because someone had to pay in foreign currency. So yeah, they might take a loss in the forex exchange and in the internal exchange rate because I think this year, yeah, NSS Finance now uses internal rate. So we have no idea what the internal rate is. And yeah, it's better to just pick in dollars. Okay. Okay, so here's the select system rate. This one I'm not too sure. Okay, because it just says select system rate and then NSS Finance uses an internal rate. So either this one will automatically generate itself to the system rate, or you just leave it as one, and whatever amount they get back from NTU Finance is whatever they calculated and did the exchange rate internally and then give the amount back to you. So yeah, in the end, back to the same point, better to pay in SGD. Okay. Make sure the date of your receipt matches whatever that's printed on your receipt or in the invoice. Okay, for the invoice, it's better to use the invoice date. Okay, because that's where they issue you the invoice. But if an invoice is not given to you, use the date that you make payment because that's where the amount is deducted from your bank. Okay, make sure you use the correct receipt and invoice numbers. Sometimes it's entered wrongly. Okay, also the total receipt amount must match the amount that you paid for. Okay, not the amount before discounts that you apply. Okay, because that means that you're claiming in addition to the amount you paid for the discount too. Okay, so you must claim exactly the amount that you paid for. If there's even 1 cent less, it's going to be bounced back. So no choice, I have to enter in the correct amount. Okay, GST is usually 9%. As mentioned earlier, you can use the link to IRAS to check whether merchant is GST registered or not. Okay, and this GST amount should be calculated by the system. Okay, any remarks? Let's say you have refunds or anything, just leave it here. Okay, and also attach the refund email, the successful refund email, and the bank transaction. Okay, the refund bank transaction should also appear in your list of transactions. Okay, but if you have anything to notify the checkers, you can leave the information in the remarks section. Okay, so yeah, hopefully you're trying to enter in at least maybe one line item from your previous purchases. Okay, but if you have watched the recording, this slide was there to illustrate how it looks like. Okay, so can I move on? Or if you're still entering, you just unmute and tell me that you're still entering. So we'll just wait for you because this is a hands-on session. Okay, you just do one line item first. Then when you create the next line item, do you see that the account numbers are repeated? Because after that you have to select the account numbers. So once you're finished entering this, filling out this section, okay, then you put in the account numbers here from the process summary announcement. Okay, so for the first one, it is the cost center. So once you fill out all this, then you add charging account, this section will open. Once this section open, you click on cost center. Okay, and then this should appear somewhere on your page. I don't know how big your screen is. So once you click in this section, this should appear, or if you're typing C23, C2, the college level funds will appear already. Then when you type 3, the SPMS level funds should appear. Okay, so for the cost center, actually you can just copy this and paste into your cost center search bar here. Do you have issues finding this account? The C230021007. Anyone has issues finding this? Or is everyone okay, able to enter this? Yeah, it's always faster to unmute and answer. Okay, so next is the GL code. So we'll go on now to the next one, which is the one that starts with 751. Okay, so if you type 751, I think this drop down list will already appear for you. Okay, so and choose the 751000010 code, or you can just copy and paste from the announcement. Okay, so anyone has issues finding out or selecting the GL code for this line item? Hello? Anyone got any issues entering this too? Okay, the last one, you don't need to select anything. You just copy and paste this number here for the internal order. The internal order is the IO code. Okay, we also have internal order here. Okay, so this is IO or internal order number. Just put in that number that is from the announcement. Okay, and your line item should be done. Once you're done with entering these three, the cost center number, the code here. Okay, that's C231. Then the GL account number, which is the one that says 751 but ends with 10. And the internal order number, which is the 9 something something 9000965. Okay, this one just copy and paste. Okay, so make sure that the amount here matches the amount in your invoice or receipt that you're trying out now. Just to check through again, make sure the invoice number is correct, date is correct. If there's GST, select GST. Okay, you have 001 for that receipt or whatever number that you're using now. Okay, then vendor name, receipt invoice number, this. Yeah, you can just copy whatever you key here and then paste in the description for the invoice or receipt number. Okay, then you press save. Okay, so that will appear as your first line item in your ICS request. Then when you click that line item, right, the cost center GL code and internal order number should be replicated. Okay, but if you are used to the process, you just very quickly can select the codes here for the cost center GL code and internal order. Okay, so if you are done, for example here, this was a previous, very long time ago, 2021, yeah, but they had 3 line items. Okay, so I modified it to show what you are roughly going to see when you continue adding claim items or line items. Okay, so you want to try the second line item for your purchases? Because I need to tell you about the attachments as well. Yeah. Okay, so I think you are familiar with the creating line items process. That is tedious, but had to be done so that the reimbursement request can be created. So there's a new requirement now that you all have to teach this pre-approval for students to claim to this business. So don't worry, you do not need to ask approval for this. It has already been done. What you need to do is now to go back to the announcement, okay, and download this PDF. Okay, you can just attach this PDF to all your ICS requests. The next ICS request, attach this PDF. Okay, if you forgot that it was in this announcement, I will also put it into, where's the folder? Oh, okay, yeah, it's also over here. ICS claims documents is under content. Okay, so this is how you see it. Okay, so it appears as a nice little folder here. Okay, the samples that I will show you all later about of a completed ICS request, okay, it will also appear here. Okay, so yeah, you can always open this here, and what you will see is, okay, the email chain just, I think it's yesterday. Yeah, this is just a requirement that is required this year. Okay, this is for all ICS claims. Okay, it's separate from the purchase, the pre-purchase request, if the item is more than $100 and above. Okay, so do not confuse this pre-approval with the one that you need to do when you want to buy something that's above a certain amount. Okay, this is different. This is just an administrative requirement. Just attach this PDF to all your ICS claims so that NSS due process, the finance due process is done. Because usually when you want to buy something, even before you buy something, you need to pre-approval to get permission to use the money in the account to buy something. Yeah, so welcome to Corpo Life. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so just attach that PDF to all your ICS requests. Okay, so that's the one that I'm trying to point out here in your list of attachments. Okay, that one is always attached. Then your what do you call this? Your PDF of your invoices, your receipts. Okay, if you have used your or your PayNow or your PayLah is not really that particular. But if you're buying something big, you want to enforce your proof with bank transaction, and yeah, you can just attach it to your ICS request. Make sure you save often because yeah, sometimes the system just locks you out. So yeah, just remember to save often. If you have not saved your ICS request now, I think you should just click save. Yeah, then open it in drafts. Okay, just go back to drafts and reopen it again and start editing. It's better to save your incremental progress than to do a lot at one go and then suddenly the system locks you out and then you take your comfort booster and you cry for 5 minutes and then come back again. Okay, so that's the idea. Once you're done with all this, now it's time for you to select the roles. So for verifier, you select me, J. Very Larson. Okay, because I will check your RCS request first. Any issues, I will return for amendment and that's our ping pong match. Okay. Once it's done, recommender, select Anthony. How do you select Anthony? There's this little sign here, address book. Okay, or if you know the username, you enter in the username, you press the tick, the small little button here, the one on the left. Okay, or you can search by pressing the book. This is address book. So what is their usernames for all the different roles? Okay, that's why there's this drop down list of search or search. Okay, this search here, these are their usernames. So for example, if you look for Anthony, you select Anthony's username over here and you paste it into recommender one. And then you press the button on the left. That should automatically show Anthony, Variant, Jesse. Okay, or otherwise you can go to search in the address book and you can search for his name by typing Anthony. Okay, but please select the correct person. Yeah. Okay, so I also have to check this recommended roles. Okay, for recommended two is Dr. Ho. So Dr. Ho will approve once everything has been checked by both of us, myself and Anthony. Once Dr. Ho approves, it goes on to the controller for the finance accounts and Dr. Chen will approve. Once she approves, it will go on now to NSS Finance and they will have their own internal approval process. Yeah. So these are the rules that you choose before submitting your ICS request. Okay, so again, please remember to save because sometimes if you forget to save, the system locks you out and then the rules are gone. Okay, so yeah, just save off that. Okay, any questions with regards to this? Okay, so roughly have an idea of how to fill out your ICS request, Okay, so yeah. So this is an example of a request with a lot of items. Okay, but in total it's still less than $1,000. So alright, just put it in. Okay. And yeah, this is what I call ping pong. So submitted, return for amendment, submitted, return for amendment, submitted. Oh, okay. Everything looks fine. Pass on to the next person in the approval chain. Okay, but you wouldn't see these folks already because it's now been moved to being under SPMS. Previously it was college level, so it will be different people involved in the approval chain. Okay, so what are the common documents that you will see here? If you use your card, because all these are like online purchase, so all like electronic payment purchases. So yeah, you most likely have to use your bank policy and your bank account ownership PDFs. These are usually quite frequently recycled. Okay, so sometimes you don't have to wait for your bank statement that comes at the end of June or maybe early July. You can start claiming some of your purchases now, especially if they are very expensive purchases and you want your money back as soon as possible. As per what I mentioned previously, just use an old statement. Okay, you can blanco out your previous month's expenses. Okay, because we do not need to see that. We only need your account number or your card number, account holder details, with some the address or identifiable information, the bank's letterhead. This is what you call bank letterhead. Sometimes they have address here. Okay, you just need an old statement, maybe from January or February, which you definitely have on hand. You just need the page where it shows that, okay, this is me, my personal identifiable details to show that, yeah, I'm this person. Okay, because sometimes not your name is the only thing that they need. Sometimes they need to match your address or maybe other information. Okay, and I own this account. That is what you call the uh, bank account ownership. Okay, that's how I show that I own this account or I own this card. Then you can go to your bank portal, the website, using your web browser, and you can choose a certain range of time period of transactions, and you print out for in that time period your M&T project purchases. Then you blank out the irrelevant transactions. That will allow you to claim without waiting for the, let's say, June statement, which is given to you in July. Okay, but make sure your orders are all completed before you do this. Okay, yeah. Oh, I see plus signs here. So maybe the plus sign will work. Okay, but please check first before you use this kind of symbols. Okay, so okay, if it works in 2021, it should work in 2026. But just try first when you try to use any special symbols. I know the dollar sign doesn't work. Okay, so these two are common PDFs that you can always recycle for every single ICS request. But because there's an additional requirement now, the pre-approval, that pre-approval email that you see, where was it? Is it this one? Yeah, just attach this PDF. This is also another PDF that's always recyclable for every single ICS request. Okay, so yeah, and sometimes I get questions like, wow, why do I need to show my bank transactions? Okay, so where is my PDF reader again? Okay, so this one is the one that has been blank-coded. So there should be no identifiable information here. So you see, like, it's a lot of high value purchases, as in quite expensive, some of the items here. So for example, this one in their invoice form, let me open up folder with all the, okay, is it this one? Oh no, this one. Okay, I need to show the Alibaba. Okay, so this is the 310.87 that's shown in the, this is Alibaba's invoice. Okay, I think there's other identifying information here. Okay, great. Okay, so if you do not have your bank statement, right, the transaction in your bank statement or your transaction history, you can only claim this amount because this is what is shown on your merchant's invoice. But in actuality, the person I think paid more than that. Where's that July statement? It's this one. I believe everything has been hidden. Yeah, so this is their statement. Account holder details are here. This is the bank letterhead with all the bank details. Okay, this is an example of a bank statement. They have their credit card details here, which of course is blanked out because you're not supposed to see it. Yeah, and if you take a look at the amount charged to their card, i.e. they have to pay this amount to OCBC. This is not 310. This is 323, which is $13 more than 310. I'm not looking at the cents, I'm just looking at the dollar value. Yeah, so if you do not show your bank statement, you won't be able to claim whatever the bank has levied onto this transaction because some foreign currency is involved here. Yeah, so yeah, that's why it's so important to show your bank statement because this allows you to claim this amount and not absorb the bank charges. But you of course have to support the reasoning for this, which means that you have to go to your, where is that folder again? Yeah, you have to go to your OCBC card. Okay, and yeah, depending on what card, what kind of Visa, Master this is. Okay, there might be some foreign C conversion fee. Yeah, this is how the bank makes money. So, yeah, welcome to Finance World. Okay, but they also have to pay their staff and shareholders and bonuses and so. Okay, every single transaction, they're gonna levy this amount of money to perform the transaction for you. Alright, so you don't have to absorb, in this case, the $13 because this is a big value purchase, high value purchase. Okay, so you don't have to absorb that bank charge. You can get your reimbursement by providing proofs, which is okay. So, oh, did he took it up or was it somewhere? Yeah, okay, but he think they had to list it out somewhere. Wait, where was it? Over here. Yeah. Okay, so this is what happens if you don't insert that policy. Okay, NSS Finance will come back and ask you that this is, I think, from NSS Finance after Dr. Ho approved over here. Okay, then return for amendment. So they wanted the student to list out what was extra stuff that was charged to their bank account. Right, so if you do this properly, yeah, so they might come back and ask you to list it out separately because it's quite a big value. Yeah. Okay, so any other questions for this? Yeah, that's why your bank policy PDF is also one common PDF that you have to attach once you use your card. Okay, so this will conclude our claims briefing. I think oh yeah, it's just on time. Hopefully you have been doing the ICS line items while I was talking and bringing you through it slowly. Okay, if you have any questions, yeah, now is the time to unmute and ask. Any questions? Any questions? Yeah, just please unmute and ask. Yeah, otherwise, thank you for coming. If you have no questions, yeah, this is the end of the second briefing. Okay, but if you got questions, yeah.